friends, welcome to the Loripalooza Crochet Podcast, episode 111. Hello, my name is Lori. I live in the Chicago suburbs with my husband Ryan and our cat Daisy. And I love to crochet and I love to knit, and you can find all that yarny goodness on my social media, which are linked down below in the description box, as well as any yarns that I talk about, which there are a lot of yarns today, and any patterns that I talk about as well. They will all be linked down below. So welcome. How are you? Let me just say, your girl is tired. It's been a long week. Yeah. Was it just this week? It was this week. Anyway. And I also want to warn you, this morning when I was getting ready, kind of like below here, down here, there was a cricket. Like teeny tiny one. And they kept jumping on my feet. Well, I couldn't get a hold of it. So if I scream, I will try to cut it out. But if there's a jump cut, it's because I found the cricket and I'm trying to get rid of it. Oh! It's not that they freak me out. They just creep me out. The jumpiness. I don't know. And then they annoy me when they're singing so much all the time. Anyway, so. Oh. Forgot to turn off the air conditioner. Thankfully, today is not as bad as it has been. Yeah, it's pretty hot here in Chicagoland. We got up to, it was 99, I think was the highest I saw on Thursday. And I didn't see what the real feel was, but I'm sure it was like 113, 120. People were posting it on Facebook all over. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So yeah. Thankfully today is a lot cooler. A lot cooler. Our poor window units just could not keep up. So yeah, it was an interesting week, that's for sure. This week I also had the ESN luncheon. So for where I work, we have a network of ladies in churches around the area that support Elam, where I work. And this luncheon was like one of my biggest stressors. So like when I'd wake up at like 2 in the morning and then wouldn't be able to fall asleep, is because I was stressing and worrying about this luncheon. And just mostly because in the past, before I started working there, it was cloth tablecloths, real silverware, fancy plates, fancy lunch, fancy desserts. They called this the lemon fluff meeting because I guess there's this lemon fluff cake that ladies would drive up to Chicago to go get it. I was the only one working this. Like, I mean, yes, I had my team with me and somebody probably could have gone and gotten it, but it's like, I'm not doing that. They have their own stuff to do as well. So we just went to the restaurant that's down the street. We had assorted sandwiches, pasta salad. We did have their fancy Door County salad with strawberries and walnuts and all of that, which I don't like, but everybody else does, so I ordered it for them. And then we had assorted cookies. That's it. And we had plastic tablecloths and plastic plates and silverware that could be thrown away. Like, it's like, I'm not doing that. It's not my thing. I'm not the event person. Although I am the only event person right now in my job. And it's frustrating. So, but they did have a meeting. So after all the answers that came through about things that we had been up in the air for months, and everybody was upset about what had been decided. So then there were meetings not this week, because nobody was there this week. But apparently the last meeting that they had, everybody seemed hopeful, and they were like, yes, I think it'll work out fine. Okay, so what was decided? Oh, we can't tell you. Really? Okay, let's not worry about my mental health or my coworkers' mental health at all. Let's not. It'll be fine. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, and another thing that really ticked me off, the lady that insisted that we have the luncheon, that me and the chairperson of the Dutch Fest committee, we were like, we don't really need that this year. It's not really that important. Especially this year when it's only me. And she's like, no, we have to have it. We have to have it. Blah, 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 blah. She didn't come. She went on vacation to Alaska. Ugh. Anyway. But in the midst of all of that was the Michigan Fiber Festival. So that was a time where I got to go up. My parents live half an hour away from where the festival is. So I went up, had lunch with my parents, and then my mom and I drove down, and we had a great time. Of course, my mom was like, ooh, this yarn is pretty. I'll buy it if you'll make me something. Sure, Mom, sure. Not a problem. But she did pick beautiful yarn, so. But while I was there, a viewer, hi Jill, she drove up. She's from Chicago area as well. She drove up to the Michigan Fiber Festival, and so we got to hang out for a little bit and look at pretty yarn. And I was definitely a yarn enabler for her. She had mentioned something about sari yarn, and I was like, oh, there's some at this booth over here. Like, let's go. So it's yarn made out of recycled sari dresses that the Indian women wear. So that was fun. I have a huge yarn haul to show you from that. So how about we get on with the yarny goodness? Finished objects. I have one. So with everything that's been going on in my life, all the stress, all the stuff that has to get done for Dutch Fest, which is less than a month away, I decided like my yarn projects are just out of control, and so I've just focused on 3 for sure. It's like, just focus on these 3. And one of them I finally finished, so I'm very excited to show you. They were living in this lovely quilted project bag. It says Sock Maker Extraordinaire. Yeah, these are Ryan's socks. I finished them. So the yarns that I was using are, let me get my ball bands here, but there's a pair of scissors stuck in the one. Okay, so for heels, toes, and cuffs, I used Huntington Valley yarns in the colorway Light Gray Heather, which is this color here. The main color, though, is Oink Pigments. This is their Targhee sock, so it is, Targhee sock. It's 90% superwash Targhee, which is a specific type of sheep, and it's 10% nylon. And the colorway is called Plum Drum Weekend, which is this lovely purple and gray. Love that color combination. So I always do my socks 2 at a time. If I'm doing a vanilla sock, I pretty much follow the recipe from the Basic Toe-Up sock pattern by Wendy Pronger-Geckner. Again, it's linked down below. And I usually do the shadow wrap heel. There's a tutorial on YouTube by Denise from Earth Tones Girl. Fabulous tutorial. Love this. Yeah. So the socks are done. They have been washed and blocked. The ends are not woven in though. So that's the problem. That's part of the problem. And because they're so much bigger. I mean, his feet aren't that much bigger than mine. But everything, like the ankles have to be bigger, the heels have to be bigger, all that. So they don't really fit on my sock blockers. So, anyway. But here they are. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get there. Look at these socks. Isn't it neat? So, last time you saw I was here, so I was just about halfway through the leg. I did 45 rounds up, and then I did 10 rows of ribbing. I did 45 because my husband will be turning 45 this year. If you ever wonder, like if you're doing a pattern of mine and you ever wonder, that's an odd number, why did she go? That's probably how old I was at the time. Yeah, that's what I do. So he has 45 rows because he will be 45 at the end of this year. But look at the toes. I like how this pulled. Like, it just looks so cool. Here's the other side as well. So, yeah. And I had him try them on once they were all done. And he was like, cool. Like, thanks. I worked so hard on these for you. And that's all I'm gonna get. It's fine. He didn't ask for them. If I make something that he asks for, he gets really excited about it. Don't worry. So, I think he's just worried about being hot in these, but they're wool. They're breathable. You'll be fine. Okay, so there are 2 makes in progress that I worked on these last 2 weeks. One of them because I thought my coworker is going to be leaving soon because of how things are going, but now I'm like, I think she'll be around for a while, but you never know. Anyway, so I decided I was going to make presents for my coworkers this year instead of buying them something, although I did have to buy the yarn. I'm making them a beanie. It's a knitted beanie, and I just think this is so cute, and I'm loving how it's working up. I have had issues with this pattern though, but it's user error, not with the pattern. So it is the Udon Beanie. That's what it looks like. So cool. It is living in my Chicago yarn crawl bag from this year. So for my coworker, I'm using this mustard colorway. Like, I'm not a mustard fan. I like mustard. I just don't like the color mustard, is what I should say. But she does, so I'm buying that for her. So I have had to redo this hat. Got through the brim, realized I probably should have started with a smaller needle. So I went and got smaller needles and then started over. And then somehow I got off on things and tried to fix it. I'm not a knitter fixer. I just can't. So then okay, I'll rip down to the beanie and I'll start over. Or to the brim. Yeah, that didn't work either. So I'm just gonna have to start over. So here we are so far. Let me set this down. Like, oh my gosh. I'm doing it, you guys. I'm doing it. Yeah. So the start stitch marker tells me where I have to start doing the right leaning stitches, and this stitch marker, which is the queen and her corgi, it's not gonna stay for me to show you. Here. There she is. That tells me where I need to start the left leaning stitches, and then this one here is the beginning of my round. So, and then I had to buy another set of DPNs for when I start the decreases, which I think I'm about 10 rounds away from that. So, so that's 3 sets of needles I need for this hat. But hey, it'll be worth it, right? There's that. The other make in progress that I've been working on is my design in progress, which is the Rainbows and Feathers shawl. It lives in this normally. This bag. Right now, though, it has been living on my coffee table in my yarn bowl. So, somehow I got some of the stitch counts off. I'm just, it's just one of those things, you know? I think I've just been too stressed in my life, and it's showing in some of my yarny projects in my yarn life. Alright, so last time you saw I was here, I have gotten this far, and honestly I'm just gonna try to finish this up, just get it over with. I'm definitely gonna have to figure out the pattern another way. I've decided I do not like this. I prefer this up here for the rainbow part. So, yeah. You want to see how... I can't even get it all in the screen. This thing is going to be a schlanket, honestly. So, but again, like, this is my practice one. This is yarn that is discontinued. I'm not going to even tell you what it is because you can't get it anymore. This is just my practice shawl to figure out, like, is this construction going to work for me? I think so. I may try, as I'm working, I'm like, maybe, what if I did it this way? What if I did it this way? And I just need to stop and just finish this. My other make in progress is not yarn related at all, but it is creative, so there's that. I have tried and tried and tried to be a planner girl, and for the most part I do it okay, but trying to I found a system that I liked and it worked, and then I can't find the supplies for it anymore. So, well, okay, let's try something new. And I'm sure if you've been to Joann, you have seen the Happy Planner. So, I got myself a Happy Planner. I finally looked at it okay, what is this about? What? It's actually not that bad of a concept, honestly. I ended up getting this one because of the pages that it came with. I kind of here, I'll show you. If you look at Happy Planner, if you look it up on Pinterest and stuff, and you see what some people put on their Happy Planner and how crazy it gets, that's not me. But anyway, So I got the dashboard one, and I have such an eclectic collection of stickers. Like I have Disney, I have Mickey and Minnie, I have some like weird ones. This is because it's Daisy's birthday that day. I have princesses, all of it. So I liked how the dashboard one was set up. So you have a week, and then you have other little things that you can fill up over here. Honestly, this looks so plain compared to what other people put in their happy planner. So yeah, I really just went through and filled out the next 4 months, so September to the end of the year. And we'll see how this works for me. It's a lot bigger of a thing than I usually have, so anyway, that's that. Okay, let's talk Michigan Fiber Festival and all the yarn that I got while I was there. Alright, so some of this my mom bought, so I did go a little crazy, but meh. I don't think I'll be yarn shopping for a while, honestly, except for the last day of Llama Llama, which is next Saturday. So there's that. Anyway, and then I should be set for a long time, right? Okay, so before I went, I got on Michigan Fiber Festival website, looked up their vendors to see who all was going to be there, was looking at, there were very few that had their own websites, so when I looked at their website, trying to get an idea of what they would sell, so that way I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a place I want to go. And I was going through, saw this one colorway, and I was like, I have to have that colorway just because of the name, and it is a pretty color too. Couldn't quite tell on the computer what it was, and honestly, even in person, I'm like, what color is this? So it's from Aisling Yarns. It's AISLING Yarns. I honestly was like, let's go there first. I want to find that yarn, and then we'll go look at other places. So it is on their BFL yarn. So it's 100% blue-faced Leicester, which is so hard to say, which is a British sheep, and which is perfect considering that the name of this yarn is called Miss Marple. And here's the color. So, like, here you can definitely see the purples, but sometimes in real life it looks more brown than purples. But I think it's just different shades of purple, and maybe a little bit of black in there as well. Like, although on the camera it just looks purple. Yeah, that looks purple on camera, but in real life it looks black. So, it probably is just purple. Anyway, there's their logo. I really like that logo. And I just started chatting with her, the owner of the booth. And I was like, I saw online that you have a Miss Marple. Now, for those of you who don't know, like, I am a huge Agatha Christie fan. I love her books. I love Miss Marple is one of her characters who solves crimes. And actually, I just started listening to the first Miss Marple book yesterday, Murder at the Vicarage, which I've read before. I love this story, so yeah. So I'm gonna start listening to all the Miss Marples and working on Miss Marple socks. Although I probably won't get to these for a while, but anyway. So after I found this, I was then like, okay, I need a mini that will match this, that will be heels, toes, and cuffs. And right across the way was Oink Pigments. I have wanted Oink Pigments for so long. And then, like, all of a sudden, I've seen them at YarnCon. I've seen them here at Michigan Fiber Festival. I'm like, yay, I can get their yarn. That's so great. So I picked up a few minis, one to go with Miss Marple, and I picked up a couple more to give as Advent yarn swap. If you're interested, message me. My email is linked down below for this channel. Jill, who I met at Michigan Fiber Festival, and another friend, Jennifer, we swap yarn scraps, honestly. The first year I was like, you can't buy anything, it has to be scraps. And I'm running behind on my stuff, so I'm having to supplement mine a bit. Anyway, so these are my Oink Pigment minis. I got this beautiful purple. Plum As You Are. It's on her Targhee pigtail, so it's the same. Yeah, it's 90% superwash Targhee, 10% nylon, the same as Ryan's socks. So, I mean, they don't really go together in this lighting, but in real life, it looks pretty good together. That looks so weird. Anyway. But they're socks, and they'll be mine, and I don't care. Like, I want them to be like this. The other two colors I got are brown and a navy. In the navy and double truffle. So, Jill and Jennifer, you did not see those. Just kidding. Then that was in one barn. Then they had this whole field that was called Yarn Truck Rodeo, and there were 4 yarn trucks there. What? They were so cool. Totally forgot about another Oink Pigment that I got. So she has a trunk that is like, it's called Single Ladies, and it's either colorways that are discontinued or bases that are discontinued, so they're discounted, which is nice. It's only 10%, but still, like, it's nice. So I found this purpley sparkly one. Oh. So this is Oink Pigment Disco, 92% superwash merino, 8% Lorax sparkle. And the colorway is a limited edition colorway, so that's why it was on sale. Excuse me. It's called Jammy Dodger. So yeah, it's a fingering weight. I was trying to stay away from fingering weights, but obviously can't stay away. So the first truck that we went into is called, oh, there's the cricket. Whew. Got him. Okay, so the first yarn truck that I went to was Indigo Guinea. She had a great setup. She even had like an ice cream social setup, like an ice cream truck kind of thing. So then she had like these paper, looked like ice cream cones, and then like balls of minis on top. So cute. Mom bought yarn from there. I'll show it to you when I show all the stuff that she bought. And then the next one we went to was called Frogget Yarns. Honestly, I was like, oh, I don't need to buy everything I go to. And then they had this whole basket full of assigned pooling yarns. And I was like, what? And so, like, Ryan socks, they pooled so coolly, like, just love it. And so this yarn is supposed to do that. And they said you can find patterns online. And I've looked at them, and honestly, I think it's just where you get the pop of color, you do a special stitch, which is cool. I don't mind that, but I don't think it's really assigned pooling then if you're doing it that way. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, all of the assigned pooling was gray, and they would have a pop of color. So they had green, they had orange, they had turquoise, they had pink, and they had purple. I was like, gray and purple? Yes, please. So here's the Frogget Yarn logo, which I think is so cute. So this is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend, and this is called Purple Pop. I was tempted to get the pink because that was a really pretty color. But gray and purple, those are my colors. Those are my colors. I always have gray and purple together. So yeah. Again, I may just make my own design with this and to make it how I want it to be. I don't know. Can you sense a theme here? Then, you know, just walked around, looked at other places. I didn't buy yarn from everybody. I did buy some pins and some stickers. Deep Dye Yarn had some really funny pins, or badges, if you want to call them. Where's the other one at? There it is. So I was like, these are too funny. So I'm going to send this to, I'm going to send a couple of these to my cousin and my aunt. I think I'm going to send this one to my cousin, Wool Endowed. Because we both complain about our big breasts all the time. Because honestly, we are very well endowed. We're very wool endowed. This one I'm going to send to my aunt, where there's a hook, there's crochet. And then this one, I like this one a lot. Lost in Fiber Space. Even though I'm not a spinner, I was like, that's kind of funny. So that was at Deep Dyed Yarns, which her yarns are gorgeous too. If you need some like really saturated stuff. And she had some purple hair too, so I liked her a lot. We also were at Leading Men Fiber Arts. They were there as well. I think, did I buy from my first ever hand-dyed yarn experience? I bought from Leading Men Fiber Arts and from Brew City Yarns. Brew City Yarns doesn't exist anymore, so Leading Men Fiber Arts is like one of the first places I ever bought hand-dyed yarns. And they had their own booth there, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go for fingering weight yarn. I'm not. And so I didn't. I did really good. And I found this yarn. I was hoping to find it in a DK, this colorway in a DK. Because this yarn, this colorway just spoke to me. But it is a sport weight. So this is their callback base. So it's sport weight yarn. So it's a little thicker than a fingering weight. It's 100% superwash merino. This is the color. It's called Only Have Eyes for You, but it's spelled E-W-E. I'm a speckle girl. I love speckles, and this, oh my gosh, I just love it. And then I was like, well, what if I got a mini to go with it and made socks? I think so. So this is fingering weight. This is on their Showstopper base. So it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It is fingering weight. This is called Prom Queen, and I just think those would be beautiful. So I mean, yeah, this is a little thicker than this, but it'll be on my feet, so I don't care. This is how I want my socks to look. Anyway, and then at the other yarn truck place, it's called the Yarn Adventure Truck, which I'm sure you've if you're especially around East Coast, Midwest area, she goes around a lot. She had a map with all the pins of where she's been. And I found a sticker that I wanted to send to my cousin. This is a goat. Just one more row. Figured she would like that. And then they had all of these stickers for the national parks around the US. But they all have like, they look like knit stitches, or the sun looks like a ball of yarn. Anyway, the only one that they had that I have been to is the Great Smoky Mountains, which is in Tennessee, and so this is the sticker that I got for it. So, let's see. Oop. Focus. There we go. So you can see all the knit stitches and the garter stitch here, and then the yarn ball. So that will go on my water bottle now that I've shown it to you. And then also at the yarn truck, I found these tags that I'm going to put on the beanies that I make my coworkers. There we go. I must really like you. And then of course it has a heart, but it has a crochet hook in it. And I'm knitting these hats, so anyway, it'll be fine. They won't really care. I don't think they'll know the difference, honestly. So there happen to be 3 of them in here, so that's the perfect for my 3 coworkers. And then my mother bought some things for me, considering it's still my birthday month. I'm very happy with that. So the yarn that my mom bought, at one of the first booths we saw, there was hand knit mittens. Mom was like, that is perfect, that's what I want, that's the color, that's everything, and the lady wasn't selling them, and she didn't have the same colorway anymore. Like, oh, okay. But she told me that it was the simplest knitted mittens, and I've tried to find that. Cannot find that pattern anywhere. I have found some comparable, especially since instead of getting a bulky weight yarn, we got a worsted weight yarn. This is from Indigo Guinea fiber. It's on her Wren worsted weight base, which is 100% superwash merino. It's 240 yards. And the colorway is called Jello Cookies, which is this. And so like this turquoise here, and like this coral here, even the mustard too. Those are my mom's colors. Like these 3 here. And there's some purple in there, and green. Like these are gorgeous. So I'm gonna be knitting mittens, y'all. What is this life? And then also walking around, Allegheny Fiber Arts was there. I love her yarns, but I kept like every time I was like, ooh, I want this one, and I look at, I have that colorway already. I just finished using that one. So anyway, but as I was walking around that day, I had on my Frida Kahlo t-shirt, and so I was in Allegheny Fiber Arts booth. Her name is Tara, or Tara, because my coworker pronounces it Tara. Anyway, she was like, oh, I have a Frida Kahlo bag. And my mom was like, I'll buy it for you. Okay, I'm not going to argue. So, this is my Frida Kahlo bag. Look at her. She's gorgeous. And on this side, a couple, and then there's an outside zip pocket here, and then the inside has a divider, which I think is cool. Here's her tag, there's her logo. I figured this matches pretty good, so I'm not sure when I'm gonna get started on those mittens. I have to make sure I have the right size needles though. But then at the when I got back to my parents' house, I was showing my dad everything, and then of course my furry little sister Tulip had to investigate everything, so she was sniffing everything. Just makes me laugh. So yeah, that was Michigan Fiber Festival. I'm not even sure how long this thing is gonna be because I've had to keep stopping for coughing or crickets or air conditioners. Yeah. Anyway, I will see you in a couple weeks. It's the end of Loripalooza. So anyway, I hope you have a great day. God bless. Bye.